Lounge room area, carpeted flooring, gypsum plasterboard linings. No higher than normal moisture readings were observed to this area at this time. Just a minor repair to the sliding door. It does get a little bit stuck on possibly a screw up within the track. Very slight deflections to the ceiling linings. That is quite normal and consistent with general wear and tear as such. Split air conditioning unit to the northern wall of the interior, and our dining room area as well. No significant issues observed. Just a little bit of a crack occurs along the ceiling lining between the lounge room and the dining room, and that is due to differential movement and the type of roof frame that you have. So you may actually consider expressing that joint, because cracks more than likely will continue to that sort of detail. So no significant thermal inconsistencies have been observed to this lounge room area at this point of time. There does appear to be a steel beam detail that does go across the lounge room and down, so I'll have to have a look at that once I'm up in the roof void area. Other than that, really no significant thermal inconsistencies observed at this point that raise any alarm or are of concern as such. So things do appear to be quite normal. Just a note that the doors have some damage, and we've got this delaminating veneer to the southwest bedroom door, and localised repairs may prove necessary. Rear concrete porch detail certainly appears to be quite a reasonable detail. Steel posts supporting that timber beam along the eastern side of this detail. Fibro lined soffits. Whether that fibro is aged fibro and does contain asbestos has not been determined. Any of the external timbers, they do need to be decorated and sealed and painted. You have been getting moisture into the joints of those timbers, and the decay has been occurring. So very important to get those timbers properly sealed so you don't get moisture wicking into the grain of the timber, and hence the associated decay and deterioration of those timbers. So even on the window timbers, like you see here near the laundry door to the exterior, that moisture has been wicking up the grain of the timber and causing that decay, and that is a deterioration that simply can be very easily prevented by just a little bit of maintenance. The extended family room to the rear, you've got that joint between the original rear wall of the dwelling and the extension, and that joint always has a heightened risk factor of concealed termite egress as such. You just need to be really aware of it, and we'll have a look underneath and see if there's any implications as such. The fern near the rear of the house, again, she's a pretty plant, but certainly there's a risk factor that's associated with it. Along the rear of the dwelling, we've got these garden sleepers where certainly the timbers have been in contact with the ground and have decayed out. So those timber details certainly have the potential to attract and or conceal termites. An unnecessary item in this instance, and certainly something that should be removed as a matter of priority, and just good housekeeping as such. Also a good idea, sweep away all the spider webs and just give the exterior a bit of a wash from time to time. Air conditioning condenser unit seated against the northern exterior of the dwelling. Does obstruct visual inspection, although I was able to have a bit of a look in there and a poke around, and no evidence of any issues. What we do have along this northern side is the finished level of the pathway or the ground is a lot higher than the finished floor level of the garage internally. So Where the walls go below grade or below this finished external levels, there is a risk of penetrating damp and concealed termite egress simply through the mortar joints of the masonry. So naturally a heightened risk to that garage area below. Again, timber sections on the ground along this rear side certainly have the potential to attract and or conceal termite damage. We do see that the fencing along this northern side has evidence of decay and termite damage to it. So the termites have been in close proximity to the dwelling at some time in the property's history, and just need to be aware of that. And you know, I'll have a look underneath before I sort of make a definitive recommendation to termite treatment. At this stage, these timbers primarily seem to have cubic rot rather than any termite activity as such. Rear of dwelling has a metal skillion roof over this rear extension. That metal skillion roof typically will have some condensate form to the underside of roofing periodically. The interface of the skillion roof and the tiled roof, you know, does not appear to be an absolute ideal detail, but certainly no evidence of leaks were observed at this time. Tiled roof detail has no whirlybirds fitted to the roof line. Those whirlybirds are the, like you see on the neighbouring property, those fans, wind propelled fans. Highly recommended to install them to the roof line simply because you get a lot of humidity accumulating within that roof void, and we want that humidity to rise out to the upper atmosphere and provide a much drier environment within the dwelling and within the roof void as such. Surrounds of the skylight, certainly no evidence of moisture penetration to those surrounds or the like, but yeah, they're always an area that do need a little bit of ongoing maintenance as such. We can see to the underside of the sarking you get that moisture staining occurring, and that is due to the condensate that forms to the underside of the sarking when you get a variation in temperatures. So it really is important to remove the humidity from within this roof void. I'm just sweating like nothing at the moment, simply because it is so humid within the roof void, and there's just no release of that humidity out to the upper atmosphere. Again, more stains where past roof leaks have occurred during the building's history. So just coming into the rear of the subfloor detail, certainly areas appear to be quite okay. No real issues observed, other than you know, just the ant capping that hasn't got soldered joints as such, and a bit of corrosion to some of the ant capping. Now, you can't really go and replace that ant capping, so you know, we do rely on termiticides in the ground to overcome the deficiencies of the ant capping's intended purpose, so to speak. Some powder post borer damage to one of the floor joists. Now, that sort of damage is a localised damage. We can see if I can just break that open. Now, with powder post, it's not the sort of pest that you can treat effectively, and there's no necessity for repairs. No section of timber in New South Wales should be sold with a higher content of 25% sapwood. Now, that powder post beater damage will only ever happen in the sapwood section of the timber section, not in the heartwood or what was the dead wood within the tree at the time of growth. So certainly evidence of powder post borer damage to one particular floor joist. No other significant damage was observed.